Welcome back. This week, dozens of new school board members will be sworn in all across the state.
Every seat will be filled, which is almost unheard of.
Chris Jones and our Beyond the Books have been investigating and found getting people to run for those seats is increasingly challenging.
Guys, in larger school districts, oftentimes school board members run unopposed. In the smaller districts, people often have to be begged just to throw their hats into the ring. This is all very concerning, especially when you consider how much power school board members actually have.
It is often called the lowest rung of American politics.
You affect businesses.
But the school board member, that much-maligned elected official,
Clearly, you affect home prices.
may affect your life more than any other politician in the state.
You set tax rates.
One school board member can represent a district larger than a state senator. School boards collect 2/3 of property taxes. And in the last election, school boards put forth $315 million in bonds, increasing taxes in these three districts by $113 a year per family.
It doesn't look like that much fun.
Kay Jensen is on the Provo School Board and is president of the Utah School Board Association. He says the job is hard, taxing on members' families, and thankless.
The only time you see a school board member is often when they're in trouble.
Case in point,
Remember that when we called this
the
meeting,
much publicized troubles of the Salt Lake City School District.
Stop when we put our
Melissa,
stuff
when
on
we
our
called
meeting.
this meeting,
From internal backbiting to bitter fights over allowing students to return to the classroom. That debate had Republican lawmakers chime in by refusing to give Salt Lake City school teachers bonuses unless the school board voted to return kids to class. Beyond the Books has found all these factors are creating a leadership vacuum on school boards across the state. In the most recent election, there were 98 school board seats up for grabs. More than half, 55 of them, were uncontested.
They'll say to me, I wouldn't have your job. It's just too taxing. And I find that to be the case.
Steve Wrigley has been on the Canyon School Board for 10 years. He says he spends endless hours reading papers, fielding calls from angry parents, and attending school events. He says the lack of interested school board candidates forced him to stay on the school board longer than he had hoped.
The last time I ran for office, there was nobody that ran. I was hoping to have somebody run against me.
We live in not just in partisan politics, we live in a 50-50 world.
Jensen fears finding interested candidates to run for the school board will become even more difficult in the years to come. This as our fractured national politics infect every aspect of public service.
And if you're trying to make a decision, our models right now aren't just to have a difference of opinion, it's to be really angry.
I think that's the big problem we're having right now in public service.
Meanwhile, Wrigley says being on the school board is wearing him out, and he wonders if he can keep it up anymore.
I run in 2 years from now, and I have to decide whether or not I'm going to run. Hopefully there'll be some other people that will want to pick up the torch.
Guys, in almost every single school district in the state, there is compensation for members of a school board. They oftentimes get free medical and health benefits, but that still is not enough to get many of them to run. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Chris. And if you have a tip on an education story you'd like Chris Jones and our Beyond the Books investigative team to look into, the phone number and email on your screen, or you can just go to KUTV.com.